for you, or even the birds are fucked up on fentanyl. Look at that shit. You get as close as you want to this fucker, he ain't gonna move. That's fentanyl right there.
Hey, Shalom. First, when you roll page go on it, Yahweh by Shemi Al-Shai by Shemi Kakodash. Everyone see Pastor Osgood Millstone, Peace Citation 1/3 of Israel. And for this lesson, I want to title it, What Do You Expect? And really just going into how this is a product of Esau's rulership. You know, you got birds fucking fent out and shit. You know, birds tweaking, people tweaking, everything is fucked up. And you could think this damn Edomite, you know, Esau Edom, so-called white man. You can't blame anybody else besides him. All right. But let me go to Job 9:24, because you know you may be like, oh, but you know what is, you know, whatever stupid ass argument that they try to bring out. Ultimately, who's in the position of authority to fix all these things? You know, like for example, hunger. You know, there should be no reason why people are starving. You know, worldwide hunger. That's a thing, you know. And then they gonna try to push it on, you know, the average civilian who's barely getting by to feed somebody in the other side of the fucking planet. Like, bro, that is not my job. All right, whole time, you know, these Edomites, they possess, you know, all the world's wealth, you know, and you know, they could literally donate money. They could literally end world hunger if they wanted to right now. But they're not going to, because they're the wicked, you know? What's that? It's in Job or Jeremiah. It says, before I get that, let me get this. Is it Jeremiah? I believe it's Jeremiah 9. Or I think it's 13. Okay, honestly, let's look it up right here. Yeah, it's 13. It says Jeremiah 13:23. It says, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil." All right, so Esau Edom, he was created to be the wicked. So, of course, he's going to be the wicked, you know. He's not going to do good, you know, because that's not in his nature. All right, and that's why, you know, we saw and cry for this damn devil to get taken out of power, because the earth is mourning right now. All right, let me read Job 9:24. It says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein, who is he?" All right, so, you know, who's ruling the earth right now? There's no doubt about it that it's a so-called white man, Esau Edom. All right, it's not the black man. It's not, you know, you so-called Latino, or you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. You know, it's chiefly Esau Edom. You know. And, you know, you got these other nations in league with this damn devil, pursuing the Psalms 83. But ultimately, Esau, it's his time to rule. All right. But this is a product of when the wicked are in authority. All right. Let's go to Proverbs 22. Let's get that. Wicked on. All right, Proverbs. Bear with me. Is it 22? I think it's 21. I gotta start remembering where these scriptures is at. All right. Righteous. Oh, 29, tripping. All right, Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. All right, and, you know, everyone is mourning right now, you know? Like, no one is genuinely happy. You know, you even got Esau that's fucking miserable in his own kingdom, all right? And the proof does get Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24:4, it says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people there do languish. Or let's get this in the NMT. Isaiah 24:4, it says, the earth mourns up and dries up, and the crops waste away and wither, even the greatest people on earth waste away. All right, and the haughty people, proud. You know, Esau, he's the proud. All right, he's languishing. You know, you got Esau cracked out and shit on the street. You know, and that's what goes to show you, this devil, if he don't give a fuck about his own people, what makes you simple-headed Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, what makes you think he care about you? All right, look how he treats his own. It says, the earth suffers for the sins of its people, for they have twisted the Most High's instructions, violated his laws, and broken his everlasting covenant. All right, and this is a product of society that doesn't operate, you know, how the Lord created the world to be, you know, to be, what's the word for it? To be ruled. You know, the Lord, he said, you gotta rule the earth, you know, according to equity, justice, judgment, you know, pursuing Wisdom of Solomon 9:2, you know. And how do you do that? You know, through the law, statutes, commandments. And, you know, that's not set up here. That's why everything's out of order, you know, out of course. And that's why everyone is languishing. You know, everyone is mourning because shit is out of order. Shit is not how it's supposed to be. You know, the clip I played before, you got birds that are, you know, are tweaking. Like, what the fuck? All right? So it says, therefore curse consumes the earth. Its people must pay the price for their sin. They are destroyed by fire, and only a few are left alive. And, you know, ultimately, that's what this world needs. You know, Babylon the Great, that's what this place needs is destruction. You know, and ultimately, you know, the world's gonna get a reset when the Lord comes back. All right, but it really starts when Babylon, you know, gets fucking destroyed, because this is that great horde. You know, that horde that basically influences the world with the philosophies, the bullshit. All right, that's why you got, you know, the rest of the world, you know, following suit and shit. They're mourning too. These other nations, they're mad because they, you know, they drinking the wine of Babylon, and man, this is all out of order. All right, but let me go to Romans 8. All right, because this is how the world feels. All right, Romans 8 and start at 22. It says, Romans 8:22, it says, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. You know, why is that? Because the sons of God are in rulership. You know, and who are the sons of God? You know, aka the judges. Going back to Job 9:24, the Israelites. You know, the elect. You know, beginning with, you know, Yahushua, King David on down, 144,000. You know, because once Lord willing, we be the elect, we get into rulership and authority and start governing the earth how it's supposed to be, everyone else is gonna rejoice. You know, even these heathens. You know, besides you fucking Edomites, y'all are fucked. You know, with 2 C's. All right, but you know, after the heathens play out their judgment, you know, captivity, and, you know, they go to their lands and whatnot, you know, they're gonna be tribute underneath us. Niggas tweaking. They're gonna be tribute underneath us. These motherfuckers got demons on it, bro. It's lucky, but they're gonna be tributes underneath us. But guess what? They gonna rejoice, you know, because they're gonna see that this is how the earth's supposed to be ran. You know, going back to Deuteronomy 4. Let's get that. This is your wisdom. Deuteronomy 4 and sort of 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it. All right, and that's the government. That's the standard on how to rule. You know, this is going to be the governing standard. You know, law, statutes, commandments, and that's how we're going to rule the galaxy. All right, because mind you, we're going to be going to other planets too. All right. It says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who at the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for? All right. It says, and what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? And this is the basically the standard that separated us between these nations, you know, us Israelites, you know, amongst these heathen nations, because these heathens, you know, they don't have no moral code, they don't have no conduct, you know, that's why scripture says in Jeremiah, learn not the way of the heathen, you know, because the shit they do is like, it's all fucking whack, out of whack. You got Hamites washing their head in cow piss, you know. You got Elamites that be throwing shit at each other. Like, these niggas are weird. All right, that's why we need the Lord to come back, you know, to establish righteousness, you know, so the world can rejoice ultimately. All right, because right now everything's mourning, as I read. But it says, but yeah, so let me read the 6th verse again. It says, keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. And everything we're going to do, it makes sense. You know, you read the laws, it makes sense. All right. Like, for example, you know, you're not going to have, you know, we're not going to be eating fucking pork and shit in the kingdom. You know, you heathens, y'all ain't going to be touching pork. You fucking Edomites ain't going to be touching pork, because that's Esau's fucking favorite animal is a damn pig, you know. That's like the Babylon's delight is pork, bacon flavored this, bacon this, that, then, you know. But that shit's gonna be that, hell no, you know. But you see the product of what happens when you eat these things, you know. Diseases, you know, sicknesses, which, you know, is the same thing, but fucking earth is dirty and shit because the pigs can't do their job. Like, it's not fucking rocket science, all right? But, you know, this damn devil, he just needs to get taken out of power. All right, and that's the whole earth is going to rejoice when this man gets taken out. All right, Isaiah 14 and start at 4. It says, start at 4. It says, and that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. All right, and who king of Babylon? You know, Babylon the Great, you know, modern day America. You know, who's ruling Babylon? So-called white men, Esau, Edom. You know, it says, the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. All right, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindereth. All right, so this damn devil, he's just a fucking cancer. You know, he's oppressive. It's just constant. All right, you gotta pay for water. Like, everything's all out of whack, bro. Like, oh my gosh. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. That's gonna be the big sigh of relief. Like, finally, this nigga's out of power. This nigga's a fucking cancer. He's got to get put down. And that's what the Lord is coming back. That's what the Lord is coming back to do. You know, take this man down. All right, that's what we hasten for. We're sick of this place. You know, like I said, you know, look at the video in the beginning. You got a fucking bird tweaked out. What type of shit is that? You know. It says, the fir trees rejoice at thee, the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. All right, and you know, even the trees are gonna be rejoicing. You know, you got fucking deforestation. Like, what idiot cuts down, you know, some trees that you rely on to make some fucking just bullshit, you know? But hey, you know, we just need the Lord ultimately, and that's the solution. So, hopefully, with that, I'm gonna end the lesson here. I want to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Next time, so.